welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and today we're working with this. This is pattern 5641 over on friendshipbracelets.net. I essentially doubled it, but differently. I ran the pattern down the middle. If you curious as to what I did, watch yesterday's video of me making the pattern. I tried to make it kind of different, and I'm a little surprised at how the whole thing turned out. Mind you, had you been watching my live stream today, yeah, you would understand why we're missing a piece of this video. So this video is going to be a little bit shorter as a direct result. I'll explain all that here in a bit. But so in the pattern, the dark color on the right and the dark colors in the middle and the dark colors on the left, they don't cross over each other. So you don't get the switch out the strings or whatever, but then again, they all get used, though the darker colors all get used an awful lot. So it was a good thing that I actually cut my string to 1/3 of a skein, which is pretty long. It's like 2.3 or 2.4 meters for each one of the strings, which is plenty for a pattern like this. And it was a good thing too. Like I said, like those strings definitely got used most. I still had enough to do nice long tassels, no worries there. But yeah, so like I said, I do live streams for YouTube, and today was no exception. I was busy doing it, and I invited Mandy to join me because I was working on bracelets. I can open up Discord and talk and everything else. And we had just got Mandy a new cord for her microphone, and for some odd reason, it was like her microphone was like picking up weird, maybe from the fan, I guess, but it was like doing these weird sounds and stuff. And so at some point, I was having trouble like hearing her, so I went to my audio settings and was checking it out and seeing, like, you know, if there was anything on my side that could be fixed. And I forgot all about going back to the screen that like records what I'm doing. So as a result, I had recorded audio, but with no visual of what I was doing. So that's obviously not good in a time lapse. So there was a big chunk of this got wiped out. So, but that's kind of okay, because if you kind of watch how I work this pattern, kind of doing this whole work out the stuff on the left and then slowly bring myself to the right in a segmenting kind of form, it's pretty much the same thing throughout the whole bracelet. And it's again one of those things where rather than counting out how many dots down the middle or whatever, for the most part I did 1 hour's worth of bracelet making and then did the counting to see where I was, and then add on a little bit more. So yeah, this took just a little over an hour, and it's really kind of neat. So like I said, those dark colors don't actually cross over each other, but they come up to and appear to be touching. And so the pattern itself looks like there's other things going on with it that aren't. And it gives it it's a really nice look. I typically don't like levitate towards patterns that are like overly repetitious. It's just a matter of it's not as much fun to make, I think. But then when I see something like this all put together, I'm like, that's a really good looking bracelet. I imagine this would look really good on somebody. I would support this one. It's a good looking bracelet. I like it. But yeah, it just kind of does the same thing again and again. Once you kind of get it going and you've got yourself a rhythm to it, you really don't need the pattern anymore. You can just kind of work it out until the strings get to where they're feeling kind of short, and then stop there. And you know, that would be fine, I guess. So if you're looking for like something you can take along, way back when I kind of started doing bracelets, I would just take a clipboard with me and head down to the city and go where the music was, make bracelets, and the cool part about that is that people would be like, you're doing something interesting. What are you doing there? You know, I show them the bracelets, and they're like, oh, well, I would like to buy one of those from you, and I would sell it, and it would kind of help me have paid for my trip to the city because I was taking a bus. And they got a cool souvenir. I got, you know, a few dollars to go get myself something to eat. It all worked out really well. I used to really enjoy that. Doesn't work as much in Singapore. People don't talk to strangers, which, you know, looking back at it, kind of wonder, like, I was used to talking to all the strangers, and, you know, it wasn't a thing. And I was from Detroit. Like, that's a place where, you know, things can get kind of scary, you know, but I never had problems talking to strangers there. I don't know. Kind of different, I guess. I don't know. It's a lot different. But yeah, this pattern works really good with any 2-color combination. If you wanted to, you could make the outer ones a different, like 3 different colors, because the dark one on the left, the dark ones down the middle, and the dark ones on the right, they never cross each other. So you could actually do those in like 3 separate colors. I think it would be an interesting look. I am not prepared to just go and make one right off the top. If you guys are interested in it, let me know, and maybe we can do that for another day. And yeah, I'll even make the whole pattern for it, so that way that can be a thing. I don't know, random thoughts off the top of my head. Hey, this is going to end really abruptly, like I said, and I kind of not sure when. So before we go any further, let me just thank my Patreon supporters and my YouTube members. I know there's not a ton of these people, but the few that are there have helped me so much to be able to have string and the lights and all the stuff that makes this actually work. So guys, thank you so much for every little bit. It really means the world to me. I really do. I can't thank you guys enough. That's because I like what I do. I really do. I enjoy coming up with new patterns. I like the fact that this is kind of different, and it's similar to some things, I guess, like some other patterns, but I think similar is not the same as being the same, if you know what I mean. So, you know, little nuances. Maybe this is the pattern that you've been looking for, and I'm glad to have brought it to you. Or maybe you were looking at, you know, wanting to make a pattern different, and you weren't sure kind of how to approach that. Hopefully if you watch the making of the pattern, you see what kind of steps went into it, and that gives you the inspiration to be able to alter your own patterns, because that would be kind of cool too. I would love that. That's a possibility. And if nothing else, maybe you just come here and watch and hang out with me and make your own stuff and listen to me. That would be cool too. I'm good with that. Any viewership helps, believe me. It's kind of cool. And there's a lot of you guys out there. I'm really kind of amazed at how big of a like fandom we have to watch all these videos. So guys, thank you so much for that. If you could hit the like button, right? That helps out a lot. It's a little thing you guys can do that'll change my channel for the better. So I'd appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so there's only 2 strands that, you know, of the darks, and then the rest are all of the lighter color for this one. So, well, it's 4 coming down, 2 going into the loop, and the rest are all a little light color. So yeah, this is, if we keep doing a lot of these kind of patterns, I am definitely going to have to like look into getting more floss, because like for this, it used like 2 skeins of the darker and like 3 skeins of the lighter, right? There was still a little bit left over, but that's, you know, trying to find 3 of the same color definitely is a little bit harder when you have like a pile of different string. If we could do stuff like where it's like 1 skein of each color, that'd be a whole lot easier, but I don't know. We'll see what's lined up for the month. I have no idea. I just work here. So, but yeah, it is a cool pattern. It is a lot of fun. It is pretty easy. It could have been a little bit easier, I guess, where if I didn't end it on like a weird note, if I just let it end at the diamond, that would have been a little bit easier. I did have to actually check the pattern when it came to that, because I wanted the top and the bottom to be the same. And I think it kind of looks really good the way that it ends. So I am kind of glad that we did it the way we did. But I think if it just ended on the 1 diamond as opposed to the little pieces, I suppose that would be easier. But when we loop it over to be able to have a nice clean end and a clean beginning, it actually looks like the full light box or the diamond thing there. It's full, and it just looks like it's so perfect with everything else. So in some aspects, I think it came out better this way. So yeah, just maybe look at the pattern a bit, try it out. Because yeah, it definitely came out really cool. Yeah, there's nothing special about the edges. There's no like trying to do a straight edge technique, but I think because it's so repetitious, I think it just turns out like really awesome without having to do anything special to make that happen. But that could be just my experience. Like I've done these things for so long, I have my tension kind of down really well. So yeah, I can't speak to that one as to like, will this turn out as perfect for you? One thing you'll notice though is I do, like, while I'm tying my knots, I keep the work really close to the board itself. If you let it come up above the board, you'll change the whole nature of how the knots are tied. And I know that can lead to kind of spiraling off or changing directions. You also notice too, if it starts to pull to the right, I will bring the whole work back to the left to make sure that like there's some consistency there. So that's something that you can watch for as you're making it. Other than that, I think it turned out really cool. And yeah, it's the same kind of advice I've probably given before, but you know, it bears mentioning again because this was one of those instances where everything worked out really, really well. So I would really hope that for you guys as well. I think we're getting near the end of this. Pretty sure, but yeah, it went pretty quick. I mean, just over an hour in making it, and that's not bad for something that is this size. So hopefully you find it to be fun and entertaining and all that kind of good stuff. And yeah, trying to think how much more. Yeah, this is the end. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me, and as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.